Welcome to our explainer. Today we're jumping into a pretty wild and far-reaching theory, one that claims to connect the dots of world history, all the way from secret societies to the geopolitics we see today.
So the source material we're digging into puts forward this huge, unifying theory called Pax Judaica. It's a really bold claim. It suggests there's a kind of hidden script, rooted in ancient prophecies and secret alliances that's been shaping our world for centuries.
According to the source, there's a test for any big idea like this. It says any narrative that can actually do all three of these things, connect the past, explain the present, and predict the future, well, that's a narrative that's getting close to the truth. It's a model for understanding the world. So let's use that test on this Pax Judaica theory itself.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to follow the theory's own logic. We'll start with its foundations, look at the secret script it talks about, see how it supposedly explains today's world, and then build up to its pretty startling predictions for what's next.
So where does this whole thing even begin? Well, the theory starts by pointing to a historical alliance of some really powerful figures and secret societies. We're talking an unlikely mashup of religious heretics, financial geniuses, and secret orders, which it claims is the hidden structure controlling world events.
Now, while hard evidence is tough to come by, the source puts three people right at the center of this story. Jacob Frank, who led a controversial messianic group called the Frankists, Mayer Rothschild, the founder of that famous banking dynasty, and Adam Weishaupt, a former Jesuit who founded the Illuminati. The theory presents them as the architects of a master plan, a coalition that brings together religious heresy, massive financial power, and strategic planning.
And their first big move, according to the theory, to create the Illuminati. But here's the twist. The Illuminati's main purpose was to infiltrate the Freemasons, who are already super influential. This, the source claims, was a total masterstroke. It created this powerful, multi-layered secret society that's supposedly still around today, pulling strings behind the scenes.
Okay, so that leads to a pretty big question, right? How could a group this diverse, with all their own beliefs and goals, actually coordinate a single plan for centuries? I mean, how does a plan like that outlive the people who made it?
Well, the answer, according to the source, is this concept of eschatology. It's a big word, but it's not just some passive belief about the end of the world. The theory frames it as a shared, secret script, a roadmap to a very specific future. It gives everyone a common goal, even if they have totally different reasons for wanting to get there.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how these different end times plans actually overlap. Take the Christian Zionists, for instance. They believe the modern state of Israel fulfills biblical prophecy. But for their own endgame to happen, they need the Jewish eschatology to play out first. That's what triggers their version of events. It's these convergence points, the theory claims, that allow for this long-term coordination.
And this brings in another key player in the alliance, the Freemasons. Their end-of-the-world plan is presented as totally secular. It's not about God, it's about achieving godhood through science and reason. They need to prove they have mastered the world by doing things that were once only for the gods.
And check this out. The theory then points to a fascinating piece of supposed evidence, the 33rd parallel north. That number, 33, is hugely significant in Freemasonry. And, as the theory points out, the locations of the first two godlike acts, the atomic bomb test in New Mexico and the assassination of JFK in Dallas, are both right on this line. And it predicts the third act, creating life with AI, will also happen there, specifically in Jerusalem.
So, okay, that's the historical framework. But how does any of this claim to explain the world we're actually living in right now? This is where the theory tries to pass its second big test, explaining the present.
First up, the war on terror. The source reframes this completely. It wasn't just a response to 9/11, but something way more strategic. The crucial point here, according to this theory, is that all that chaos had a higher purpose. It was designed to destabilize the entire Middle East, get rid of Israel's rivals, and basically clear the path for Israel to become the dominant power in the region, a vital step in this end-time script.
All right, next, what about AI? You see trillions of dollars getting poured into these massive data centers. Is it really all just for chatbots and fun novelties?
The argument here is, no way. The consumer-facing AI, that's just a distraction. The real endgame for AI isn't entertainment, it's control. And this connects the Freemason goal of creating life with the Christian Zionist prophecy of an antichrist system. A global surveillance network, a digital mark of the beast that monitors every single thing we do.
And finally,
The theory connects two other huge and very charged social issues: the migrant crisis in Europe and the global rise in anti-Semitism.
So, get this. The crucial point here is that even chaos and persecution are framed as necessary, planned steps. The theory suggests that refugee crises are used on purpose to destabilize Europe, and at the same time, a rise in anti-Semitism is encouraged to push Jewish people to return to Israel, which fulfills a major prophetic requirement. This all leads us to the theory's ultimate prediction for the future, the final, dramatic act of this plan that has supposedly been in motion for hundreds of years. The endgame is the creation of this new world order, which the source calls Pax Judaica. But it's not a traditional peace through dominance kind of empire. It's a worldwide system of control, an AI-powered surveillance state based in Jerusalem that actually thrives on global chaos. So, the source predicts a time of intense global conflict, and all that conflict will serve to centralize power. While the world is in turmoil, technology and finance will all consolidate in the safe zone of Israel. The AI surveillance state will get rolled out everywhere. And then finally, the great prophesied war of Gog and Magog will be triggered, which kicks off the end times.
So, we've walked through the whole theory from the source, how it tries to connect the past with a secret alliance, explain the present with a hidden script, and predict the future with a prophesied endgame. The big question is, does it actually pass its own theory of truth test?
You know, the source presents this not as proven fact, but as a model, a way to understand world events, a narrative that connects the dots in a very specific and pretty unsettling way. And it leaves us with one final question. Are we looking at the blueprint of a grand conspiracy unfolding right in front of us? Or is this just a powerful story that weaves together history, prophecy, and fear into a really compelling modern myth? The answer, as always, is up to you.